Welcome to No Such Thing as Normal podcast with Natalie Hayes and Jess McKeown.
This is a casual podcast where we talk about all the things you're not supposed to talk about in order to help you normalize your real life, because really we're all just a bunch of weirdos having a completely human experience in a society that asks us to pretend like we're not.
And I'm your host, Jess, a gifted spirit baby medium who facilitates deep soul healing by channeling divine messages.
And I'm your other host, Natalie, an intuitive mentor and transformative healer.
Be sure to subscribe where you listen to podcasts, watch our 100% unedited episodes on YouTube, and you can also follow us on Instagram at McJaguar and at IntuitivelyNatalie for more weirdo and woo content.
Yes, and if you like this episode, please be sure to rate and review and share it on your social media and tag us so that more people can unleash their weird with you.
Woo-hoo!
Woo! What are we talking about today?
Unleashing the weird. We are talking about Pisces.
Yeah.
We're talking about Pisces and Jupiter. We are talking about the new moon in Pisces, which is coming up, in which we have our workshop on.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just like a Pisces season. I have to tell you something about Pisces because my Pisces is in Mars. And I was reading this thing about how to be sensual and sexy with Mars and Venus and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And, when you read, this is what I think. When you read astrology, it's like, I don't know, does it apply to me? Whatever, And I was working with my husband on this. I'm like, it's broad strokes, right? It's like, it's more like big directional areas for people to have this. But Pisces rules the feet. Every astrological sign rules a different body part.
Rules the feet? Okay.
Rules the feet because like they're fish, right? Like they're little, and there's two fish. And there's so many, I don't know.
The visual. Okay.
You have to come see it. It's like more like a mermaid tail. But my husband and I, from the day like we started dating almost 20 years ago, we give each other foot massages. And we call it double feet, which I like is tripping me out now that I think about this. We sit on opposite ends of the couch.
Uh-huh.
And he does my feet and I do his feet. And we used to try to do them at the same time, but then one would always like give out and be like, and stop. So now it's like one foot,
Mm-hmm.
the next foot. But I just thought that was cool that like literally that is part of my sensuality is foot massages and foot rubs. I mean, most people probably love those, but
because your Mars is in Pisces, you're saying like that placement lens. Yeah.
Mine
is in Aries.
Ooh,
but I don't know. I hate being told what to do.
Aries is the head. Do you like head massages? Do you like play with your hair?
Yes, I love head massages. I love also foot massages, but I have a Pisces moon, so maybe that explains why I love foot massages.
Head and tail. You're like, give it to me all. I just think that's cool. And I don't know that I love to geek out on astrology. Natalie and our hobbyist astrologers.
Yeah, we're hobby astrologers. This means we can be wrong.
This means it could be wrong. Yes, because we don't have all the cool software and stuff. But let's chat about this new moon first, since we are kind of launching some new moon energy here. What do you think about new moons? Like, do you love them? Do you hate them?
I like them. I feel like, they're
you like them.
They're not as personally I like them. They're not as energetically charged. Like I sleep better than during full moon sometimes. But I think new moon energy is really subtle to me. It's not about community. It's not about gathering, getting up, releasing. It's more about retreating inward and thinking about what you want for the next 6-month cycle.
Yeah. And I do love that. I have started to work in the more 6-month cycles with things because shit takes time. As I've learned as an Aries. Oh, what? But there's something about seeing that little sliver of a moon that I just love.
Mm-hmm.
It's so like delicate. It's so beautiful. It's just so like, the world's your oyster. There's like all this potential by the time it gets filled up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just love the little like, the clock, right? You can kind of see like, where are we? Check at the moon. And I do agree that like once it hits that first quarter, I'm more like ready to go. But I like to use that new moon period to kind of dream and think about things. And especially in Pisces, all that dreamy. Yeah. And it's the season right before my birthday season, right? So have you heard this, that like the sign before yours or the season before yours in astrology, it's kind of like your cleansing out time, right? Like you're getting ready for your next birthday, your next like cycle. So for me, Pisces season is like a cleaning out, okay, I'm starting my new year. I got to make sure. And like to have the Pisces energy around that is really interesting because it's very slow, it's very methodical, it's very thoughtful, it's very spiritual. So I like
Well,
it.
yeah. On the wheel, it's the 12th house, so the 12th house is shadowy, it's past lives, it's subconscious, it's dreams, it's very here and there, one foot in each world. That's such a Pisces thing.
Yeah, right. One fin.
Yeah, fins. Put your fins in both spots. One on earth, one in spirit. I'm also talking about the wheel recently because God, I just love astrology so much. I learn something new about it every day and then immediately Google it. And I'm like, yes, this is why I'm crazy. I'm following an astrologer on Instagram. Love her. It's Luminary Parenting, I think is her IG handle, but she does daily astrology reports.
Dang.
They're mini, they're very digestible. They're short. And it's a lot directed at kids. Like this is like an account for parents to learn how to work with to work with the energy of the moon for their kids that day. So she's like, heads up, moon's in Scorpio, your kids might today. They might, be little assholes. So
your kids might refuse the chicken nuggets.
Correct. And start a riot.
We should see where the moons were in kindergarten for you.
Oh yeah, I should have. But yeah, she's great. I follow her. And I think she was the one that I learned this from. Yeah, she is. So wherever your personal chart is, like if you can pull up your personal chart, I use whole sign system. It's just easier to read for me. And I find it's more applicable. It's less messy. So your rising sign is always your first house. So it's like you have your own wheel of seasons.
Yeah. You
so
do.
Some people might feel energized in winter because like that sign for maybe Capricorn, Sag, that's in like 8th, 9th, 10th houses, like a more like sunshiny position versus, I don't know, like my rising is in Sag. So my first house is in Sag. So throughout, what's before Sag? Scorpio? Throughout Scorpio season, I feel like retreating because Scorpio is my 12th house. So I always retreat. I always hermit. And then it's like once Sag comes around, it hits my first house. So I feel like the horizon. I'm coming up above the horizon. And I do feel a little bit more like social during the holidays and doing things. But then, second house comes down below the horizon. So I feel reclusive till like August.
You're like, and I'll see you at the end of summer.
Yeah.
Bye.
But it's true. It makes a lot of sense because I have Cancer ruling over my 8th house. And in July, I always feel like being a recluse. I do not feel like posting on social media. I do not feel like hanging out with anybody. A lot of the times I'm in my feels. Hate it.
Interesting.
But yeah, look at your own personal chart and you can see kind of like where your personal seasons are.
Okay. So we start with our rising. So my rising is Virgo.
Mm-hmm. So how do you normally feel during Virgo season in like, what is it, August, September?
Yeah.
September?
I fucking love it.
Yeah. It's like you've come out of your 12th house.
Yeah.
And you're like, it's a dawn of a new day.
Yeah. Like, it's like back to school. It's like when I got married, I got married over Labor Day weekend. Like it just feels like I kind of like, okay, honestly, people are going to like throw shade at me. I don't love summer.
Oh, no, that's fair.
Because Leos,
because it's your 12th house.
They're just like,
yes, it's because it's your 12th house. It's shadowy. It's shadow energy for you. Yeah. August might not be your favorite month.
Yeah. But then like after all that dies down and the summer people are like, it's not summer. And they cry. Then the fucking boots and the scarves and the fall leaves come in and the pumpkin spice lattes. And we're like, watch out, bitches. It's hard time. And who doesn't love fall? Everybody loves fall. Because people are like, oh, it can be hot, it can be sweaty, it can be whatever, muggy, and all those other weird things that people get on the East Coast that we don't get here on the West Coast. Those horrible summer things. Yeah, I love it. That's good to know.
Yeah, your personal seasons.
And that I am maybe the same way in summer. I also want to just be like away and in a cabin in the woods or something. I'm not very social in the summer. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense for you then.
Yeah, I learn something new every day from you.
Welcome. Talking about this, we'll go back to the Pisces New Moon. Okay.
Yeah.
So this Pisces new moon, it's the last moon cycle of the astrological, that was really hard to get out, astrological calendar, because Aries is technically the beginning of the year. It's the beginning of the astrological calendar. So if you feel like retreating during this Pisces new moon, it makes a lot of sense. Rules over the 12th house. I personally have my moon sign there, so I will be under a blanket somewhere.
Yeah. What does it feel like for you, Pisces season?
I mean, I always have vivid dreams as a Pisces moon. Like I always have lucid,
regardless of
vivid dreams. Yeah. But I feel like I remember them more maybe around in Pisces season. I just feel really floaty, dreamy.
Yeah.
Like so like in astrology, the transits in your chart or the aspects that the planets make to each other make up a big deal of your personality.
Yeah.
So I do not have favorable aspects between my sun, moon, and rising. They all oppose each other.
So and you're a Gemini.
And I'm a Gemini. So it's just like a really like I have to balance, like find my balance in like Pisces and Gemini and Sagittarius season. I really have to find my balance. Funny.
I think I used to like not like Pisces because there was like a couple Pisces people that I met. I was like, I don't like you, therefore I don't like all Pisces.
Now I don't like Pisces.
Sorry, Pisces. I do love you. But I think what was hard for me with these Pisces friends was they were like so emotional and clingy and feely. And I was just like, no way. This is too much. And now I really am trying to use this time in this new moon because I'm doing some very deep shadow work this year. It is kind of my kickoff, right? I'm excited to make our cards at our workshop. We're doing an oracle workshop on the Pisces new moon.
Yes.
And I'm going to infuse the shit out of them with this. Like I'm not going to
charge them up
to go into the shadows and to swim deep, all the cute little things with Pisces. But yeah, it's usually Pisces is like, when is it my birthday? Is it almost my birthday? How many months to my birthday? How many days to my birthday?
Oh, like for you when you're in Pisces season? Oh, just trying to like swim through it with your little
just trying to get to Aries, just trying to get to me. Trying to move on quick. And that's what I did for a lot of times. I just be like, Pisces season, it's like almost mine. And because I'm an Aquarius moon, I kind of love Aquarius season. I'm like, weird. And then I'm like, oh, what do I do now? And then my birthday.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to approach it in a new way.
I love that. You're in your filling. This is filler for you.
This is like the cream of the donut. This is the best
part. Ooh, I love that for you. Okay, another reason Pisces is so important this year.
Yeah.
Jupiter's in Pisces for most of the year. And then I think it goes into, oh God, what's next? Aries. It goes into Aries later in the year and then it'll come back, because it does the retrograding stuff. So
yeah,
it'll be in Pisces for most of the year before going into Aries for a couple months, I believe.
Yeah. So I put down some dates here. So it's going to be from December 28th, 2021. So last year, all the way to May 10th, 2022. Then after that May 10th, we actually have another Mercury retrograde. Whoop, whoop. And that's actually when it goes back. I think it goes actually back into Aquarius.
The Jupiter?
Does it? And then it comes back October 28th to December 20th into Pisces. It's doing the Aquarius Pisces transit. And then it'll do Pisces Aries. This is why we're hobby astrologists.
We took a workshop recently and she said, we took Natalie Wallstein. She's from Soulshine Astrology. We took her Jupiter workshop. And do you remember when we looked at our charts and she said, it's going to be over these two houses, whatever houses Pisces rules over and Aries rules over is what's highlighted. So I think it goes into Aries, but guys, I don't know.
At the end of the year,
TBD.
October 20th to 20th. Yeah. TBD, but here's the thing.
But
it's going to be there
regardless. So Jupiter in Pisces, Jupiter is the planet of abundance, expansion. Again, it really depends on where travel is it? Oh yeah, travel. It depends on really where it's at in your personal chart as to like the degree in which you'll be affected by this transit. But if you have other planets in Pisces, it will expand and highlight those planets. Like my moon sign, this is just a year where I'm going to be under blankets and probably cry.
We're going to send Natalie some weighted blankets to help her.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the degree. That's interesting. So whatever the degree is of this current transit, if it's close to your degrees, you feel it more?
It's going to move throughout the entirety, like the 1 to 30 degrees of Pisces this year. So if you have anything in
Oh,
Pisces, it will land on it at some point, and you might
it's
feel that
coming for you.
energy. Yeah, it's coming for you. You might feel that energy more intensely, but this year is really a big year for dreaming and
I
like
love
getting in
that.
touch with your intuition and spirituality, because like that's such a Pisces jam. And you also might find that maybe you have a little bit more rose colored glasses this year with Jupiter and Pisces.
Yeah. I would say it's a good year to start an intuitive business,
Oh, heck yeah, that's a great year. It's a great year to do that.
right? Like just this, I like for me, I always think of I always call Jupiter daddy. It's like the money maker. It's like, hey, Jupiter, like just coming in and like, it doesn't have to be a male daddy, right? We just know like the
Okay.
daddy energy.
Okay.
Yeah. Not just the male daddies,
Hilarious.
all the daddies out there.
Okay.
And it's just this energy of just like, and you get something and you get something. It's the Oprah planet for me. It's just like big and beautiful. And it is my favorite planet. Saturn is number 2 now. Just saying.
I love it. It's my
I
chart
do love
ruler.
Saturn.
I love Jupiter.
Why is it your chart ruler?
So the planet that your rising sign traditionally rules over is your chart ruler. And it's a huge
Gotcha.
like influence on your personality. So I'm a Sag rising. Sagittarius traditionally rules Jupiter. So Jupiter is my chart
Mm.
ruler. Wherever Jupiter is and whatever house and whatever aspects it makes is like really important to my personality, which my Jupiter conjuncts Chiron. They're at the same degree. Chiron is your greatest wound. They're at the same degree in Cancer in my 8th house. I do not like Cancer season.
So how does that show up for you then? Would you say like knowing that, like to help
So
people
it
kind of
would
like bring it down to earth?
bringing it down to earth.
Yeah.
I have a cheat sheet for this. If you want to email me, I can send it to you or send you a link to it that kind of breaks down the keywords for each planet. It's once you kind of know the keywords, you can put the energies together very easily.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Chiron, wounded healer, Jupiter, planet of abundance, expansion, Cancer, super emotional, right? Very nurturing. It's like the mother, it's a mother sign in my 8th house of spirituality. So if you put all of those things together, like I tend to come at my wounds from a spiritual place and a way to mother myself. And all of my wounds, everything that wounds me, triggers me, gives me expansion because they're conjunct. They're at the same degree. I cannot look at Jupiter without looking at my Chiron. And then my closest aspect in my chart is a trine to Pluto from this conjunction. So Pluto in Scorpio is big transformation energy in my 12th house. So I literally help people bring unconscious stuff, 12th house, deep, transformative, and help them come to expansion from it. I help people transform.
Damn. Which
Yeah.
is why you call yourself a transformative coach.
What
do you do this in readings like with your clients? Do you bring in astrology? Is that like
I love to use it in first
Yeah.
sessions because it tells you so much. I like to start with astrology to show you like, here are the things about you that you're not going to change. Here are the things that are just you. Like you're not weird, you're not broken. This is just how you best operate, how you best function. It's the energy you live your life with. And then start our relationship off from there. I do this in my like session packages.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think from what the babies show me too, like it is so important if that's what you want to do in life, if you want to be a transformative person, you do need to have certain planets and certain stars and certain conjunctions like ready to go for you. So
it's a recipe. Cool. It's just a recipe. It is. Yeah.
I'm in my astrology mastermind business group, people are like, oh, we wish we came with like, like a plan for life. And they're like, you do,
surprise.
It's like, it's like, I wish there was a book on this.
There is.
Yeah. So I hope that starts to like gain popularity again, that people can use it and not let it just be like, back of the, Cosmo magazine kind of a thing, right? Just more using it for direction in life. And like, wow, what would our planet be like if we did that a bit more?
Your Jupiter's also in Cancer, right?
And it's exalted.
It is. Jupiter's exalted in Cancer, but
which means it's extra.
It's just good. It's favorable. It doesn't like
favorable.
It doesn't fight against it.
Yeah.
So what house is it in?
Oh God, Natalie.
Yes.
hold please. How do I
Mhm.
tell what house it's in?
Prepared. It's in the pie slice, whatever pie slice it's in. It
Okay,
should
let
be
me
numbered.
find it. What is Cancer? What's the little 69er?
It is
Okay,
the 69er.
69. It's in my 12th house.
Okay, yeah.
No. Oh, yeah. 10th. No, 10th house. Very close to the 11th.
10th house. You're not looking at the whole sign system. I'd have to look at your chart, but
I'm not.
Cancer in 10th house, you would just find expansion through career. And your career would be something with nurturing, mothering, all of this Cancer energy, which makes a lot of sense. You work with spirit babies. Look at that alignment.
I found it. Yeah, I have this is the app I'm using. You're gonna have to get me
Co-star.
I need to be able. No, this one's time passages.
Oh.
Yeah, I should try co-star, but I want to be able to know this. So next time you ask me on the podcast about what things are, I'm gonna be like, it's in this house, in that house. This is what I'm studying. But my mom is a Cancer. My mother-in-law is a Cancer.
Wow.
I work with mothers. I want to be a mother. Like, I feel that energy. The thing that's kind of interesting for me about the Cancerian stuff is like, I do love my home and I do love my environment, but like, it's not the way I want it to be.
What do you mean?
Like, I want my house to look so different than it is.
Well, what's your 4th house? What sign is ruling over your 4th house?
Why? What's the 4th house?
That's your house of home. That's where Cancer traditionally rules over, is the 4th house.
I think Sagittarius.
Okay, well, it would make sense in your home for it to be kind of like a hodgepodge of things that inspire you, other cultures. You might have things from like over here in the world, things from over here in the world, and you kind of like bring them all together. But it's not your nest egg. Your nest is not not really your home. For you, your nest is your business. If Cancer's over your 10th house.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. This is why I like to work so much and why I love my work.
Yeah, and your Jupiter's there. You find it expansive.
I do find it expansive. I love channeling. I'm going to channel after this podcast. I
love it
today.
So, I love it. Okay. So okay.
I feel good though. I love my Jupiter. I love that expansive feeling.
Jupiter's just a feel good. It's a feel good planet.
I wish Jupiter was a human and I could talk to them.
Jess, you can channel Jupiter. It's like a consciousness if you wanted to.
I just feel like Jupiter is just like the cool kid always, but like friendly, like just happy, worldly, Here, try this Madagascar honey I got.
Yeah.
I mean, I love it. How do you go about getting this info like on your partners and friends? Like, I have this app where you can store people's information.
Yeah.
When is the right time to ask that of somebody?
Immediately.
I mean, like, I've had friends. I'm like, you need to call your mom then and get
your birth. And I can't help you unless you have.
We can't be friends. I don't know. Okay. I just think it's interesting. I like to read other people's signs and astrology and figure out where they are too.
I love it.
And how they all interact, right?
Yeah, I love it.
Okay.
You wrote down something really interesting about Jupiter.
Yeah. What did
right?
I write
Oh no,
down?
Pisces. You said that Pisces rules hospitals.
Yeah.
And Jupiter rules growth, right? Expansion. So it makes so much sense, which if you don't have a nurse in your life, then maybe you don't know what's going on with the nursing community right now, but it is up in arms. Nurses are not okay right now. And so glad I got out. Really, really thankful. But right now, the hospital system is actually being highlighted and going through a big transformation. So that is going to be a theme this year with Jupiter and Pisces.
Yeah. And like, just this idea of like, well, hospitals healing Pisces, right? And here we have this like great, crazy pandemic, and it has definitely expanded and tested that area for sure. And I can only imagine that the healthcare workers are fucking exhausted right now.
They're exhausted because it's not that these problems weren't here before.
Yeah.
It's just that nurses are leaving in droves. They are leaving. They are done. It's like, this was the precipice. This was the breaking point for a lot of nurses. And now they're so short-staffed that it's like, oh, okay, well, now we have a really big problem. Now we should probably do something about it. But the hospital system culture preys on the martyrdom of nurses.
Yeah.
Like if you walk out, if you strike, if you leave, who's going to take care of these patients, these sick patients that you signed up for? So they praise and prey on this martyr culture of nursing. And now the nurses are like, I don't have the proper equipment.
It's just
I'm
ridiculous what
overworked.
they,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you're paying me pennies to do what I do.
Yeah.
And now you're talking about capping the only aspect of nursing where you can make money, which is travel nursing. That's the only way Jen and I were able to get a house. It's because we went and travel nursed for like 9 months, saved up 40 grand, put a down payment on a house. That's the only way we were able to make that money, because otherwise you do not make that money in nursing.
That's just crazy. I mean, I'm excited for the nurses. Like,
stand up.
Viva la revolution.
Yeah.
What are all the nurses going to? What are they doing? What is everybody doing who's quitting their jobs right now?
I don't know. Hopefully they're coming to start their own intuitive business. Love to help you out if you are.
If you quit your job.
Yeah. There's supposed to be a big nurses march to DC in May to like protest the travel nurse capping of the wages. Like there's supposed to be this big thing. But what kills me about nursing, and I've said this like my whole career, is they just let people walk all over them. Like nothing changes if you keep allowing it to happen. Like I understand that there are patients, I understand that there are sick people, but if every single nurse walked out at the same time across the country, the system would collapse. It would collapse.
I guess I really feel that tied to the patients. And I think what's hard is that the nurses care about the patients, and they deal with the bullshit and the bureaucracy
for the patients.
The bureaucracy like uses it against them by going to their wound, which is
it
patients,
counts on them putting the patient first. It counts on them.
Yeah. And it has created, and I would say it's a very unique environment, although there are probably other like work cultures like that, but this is like of the highest degree because it's like life death situation, right? Like in marketing and other places like that, business, money, it's like people make it seem as important, but I can only imagine how critical this would feel to stay or to do. Oh my God, I could never be a nurse. I'd be such a fucking martyr.
Just no, you couldn't. You really couldn't.
I'll be like, oh.
Yeah, I'll come in. Yeah, I'll work 16 hours for less pay. Okay. Yeah, I'll be there.
Well, someone in my family was a nurse, and we chat at the holidays, and she's like, it's fucking ridiculous. She's like, there's one of me, there's like 16 beds. She's like, there's no breaks, you have no then, and she's like, she moved into another field where she can still use her degree, but she counsels and does other stuff. Because she was literally like, this is dumb.
It's impossible.
I will not ever be successful. And she's like, peace out, Yeah.
I know. I've always said hospitals don't deserve nurses. Like nursing is a privilege. It's not a part of the room charge. So like hospitals should not get to employ nurses. They should be agency employed, because the hospital's not going to fight for a commodity that they're using. Hospitals don't deserve nurses. Nurses don't deserve to be a part of the room charge. I didn't go get a 4-year fucking degree to be a room charge. Thank you.
Along with the gauze and the aspirin.
Correct.
Like aspirin, gauze, Natalie.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
Put it on my bill.
Hate it for us.
Oh, God.
So yeah,
I'm excited to see where this goes.
Me too.
Nurses, I think we've talked about this for a while now. Just so many systems are breaking down.
So many.
And this is the next one, right? And it needs to so badly.
Oh God, it needs to be
just completely tower moment torn down. And what is our new way?
Mm-hmm.
Here's my concern though, is where are the people who are going to step up and help build the new, right? I'm curious to see where those voices are going to come from.
Probably Aries.
Let's do this, people.
Do it.
I love it.
So that's big energy this year with Jupiter and Pisces. I'm not sure Jupiter and Aries not till later in the year, but I'm sure we'll see a lot of leaders rise up during that time, because Aries, sign of leadership, being seen. I think that'll probably happen during the Jupiter and Aries transit.
Okay. On May 11th, Jupiter enters Aries. You're right. I thought
so. And then it goes back into Pisces.
Yeah. So from May 11th to October 28th, this is our preview. And then we go back October till I think it was like, end of December, and then it'll switch again.
So next year, Jupiter Aries will start out. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. But we do get a little preview for what is it? May,
this
June,
summer.
July, August, September, October, 5 months. It's a big ass preview.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Coming soon to theaters near you.
Lots of people rising up.
Jupiter and Aries. Ooh, yeah. You're right. What a perfect timing. All the leaders, all
perfect
these
time.
People who are tired of all this bullshit.
Yeah.
I love it. Let's do it.
This is going to be a great year. It's going to be so fun.
Natalie will be under blankets.
I will be under blankets.
Make sure to send her food and text updates of what's going on. Love. How you doing there?
Doing okay.
It's so true. Like if we were to really live our lives a bit more according to the planets, like this might be the year, your blanket year, but it might be that year where you are a bit more cocooned or a bit more slow. And, the societies around us and the patriarchy around us is like produce every year, launch, go, go, go. And sometimes I've kind of realized that like, I feel into that. I'm like, this is not the year. But taking to like wait a whole year, sometimes it can feel like forever.
Well, I mean, you have ebbs and flows of energies, retrogrades and direct, like the transits. It's always changing. It's always changing. And I feel like by showing people their birth chart and telling them about it, it's almost like you're deconditioning yourself to get back to that alignment. It's like your birth chart is like what alignment looks like for you.
Because it's what was aligned when you were born.
Exactly. It's your first, what is one astrologer I followed for a while, she said, it's your first baby picture.
I love that.
Love
that. That's cute.
But I love it. We've been talking about astrology more and more. Like you're getting into it this year. And I think that's something we can say that we'll have consistently on the podcast is we're going to talk about the astrology because I love it. It's a big hobby.
Yeah. And it's my gateway drug into all my spirituality. So I really love it. It's my honoring of it. Yeah. It was the first thing that I ever was like, that's true. That's true. That's weird. Whoa. And then
sorcery.
I would start to ask people like, what's your sign? What's your thing? Can I have your birth time for my app? That's where we are now. But yeah, I don't know. It's just something that I've been so fascinated with, and me signing up for this mastermind for the year really excites me to like deep dive and learn about things. And I actually have to put time on my calendar to go study. It's fun. How do you learn stuff? Do you make like flashcards? Like, how did you learn this? You're just like, no,
it just sticks. I don't know.
Fuck you. It just sticks for me. I'm a Gemini. I love it.
When I find something like immensely interesting like that, especially if I can personalize it. So like the way that I learn astrology is I'll learn something new and then go to my own chart immediately. I'll reference my own charts. Like when it's my narcissism. So when it affects me, I just absorb it. It sticks.
Oh, I love that. Okay. I think I was trying to learn it how like, I think I told you this maybe last time, but like, the planets and the houses are like stages and actors and this kind of stuff. And then I just get too far off into who I'm casting in my movie and too much. And so but I'm dedicated to finding a way to learn it. You're going to send me your cheat sheet.
Yeah. I'll send you my cheat sheet.
Anybody else who wants it?
Anybody else, just let me know. I can send you a link.
And then we're going to be on it.
Just think about
because
keywords.
It's fun.
Yeah. It's keywords. The houses are your areas of life. There are 12. Okay. The signs that rule over your houses are how that energy is expressed. What energy are we talking about? Whatever planets are in that house, in that sign. Okay. It's just break it down. Very easy, very simple.
For some.
You can do this.
I can do this.
You can do this.
But if you're also finding it challenging to learn astrology, let me know. And I'll tell you what I've learned. Just
let me know. We can commiserate.
I'll give you some tips and I'll share what I've clearly learned so much of. No, but I think that's right. I think if you can, I'm an Aries, right? So I just need high level, like you said, keywords quick. That's kind of how I learned tarot too. It's kind of like, okay, the main themes of these cards are this.
Main themes, yeah.
And then I can usually intuitively dive in after that.
That's what I do. Yeah. It's not
I think I'm too much in my head right now, trying to like know it.
You don't have to memorize.
Okay.
I feel like for you, maybe, and anybody else out there who's more like feely, who's Cancers, Pisces,
I'm
Scorpios,
feely.
who's more feely, they feel energy. Look at a chart and then feel into the energy of it rather than memorizing. Like ask your guides to like, show me the energy of Scorpio, show me the energy of this, like work with the energies instead of trying to assign labels and memorizing things if that's not the way that you learn. It is really intuiting. Like when I read charts, it's more intuiting. It's like an open channel for me to intuit that energy.
Yeah. It's like it gives you that blueprint, but then each one's so different, and then you're kind of pulling all the other stuff. Yeah. Wow. Okay. You guys get ready because we're gonna be freaking the hobbyist of all hobbyists.
We might actually become real astrologers
by the end of the season. Yeah. How do you become a real astrologer?
I'm not sure. I think it's just a decision.
Like actually know this shit. Oh, okay.
You have to actually decide to call yourself an astrologer. That's how you become one.
I love it.
Oh, well, I'm excited for this year, all of this Piscean energy, all of this expansion in that area. I think it's a really exciting year for a lot of people. Great year to dive into your spirituality, dive into intuition, get to know yourself on a deeper level, get to know your triggers, your traumas. Pisces is 12th house. It's all that stuff that's underneath that maybe your ego doesn't see.
Yeah. And my guides are kind of saying this idea too of like learning how to like go with the flow more, because when you go with the flow, that expansion comes. In addition, I feel like Pisces is a lot about creativity, artistic stuff. So again, that's why we're doing our workshop, and we'll talk a little bit about that too, but it's going to be an artistic, creative kind of play. So yeah, if there's like a work of art, a book, a blog post, some paintings and stuff like that, pottery, whatever that needs to come out of you, it's a good time to do it. And especially because like now until that May 10th kind of time frame, a lot of planets, nobody's in retrograde. It's kind of a nice clear runway. So
till the end of April, we have all planets direct, which is exciting.
Yeah. So let's do some shit.
Let's make some oracle cards. So come join us. This podcast comes out on Monday. So we'll be hosting the workshop on Wednesday, the 2nd. It's at 5:30 Pacific time, 6:30 Mountain time, 7:30 Central time, 8:30 Eastern time. I did that in my head.
That was good.
We're going to be channeling more about this new moon. We're going to be setting intentions. We're going to be making 3 oracle cards of your choice. And again, when you sign up, you'll get an email that tells you everything you need to bring and everything you need to have ready. So join us. We'll be doing it. We'll be making them too.
Yeah. And like, if you want to start gathering supplies, magazines, stuff like that, start to like, leaves, flowers, whatever you want.
Start collecting.
Start printing out stuff with your printer if you have a printer.
Like it's pretty hard to shuffle.
Yeah. But yeah, and that's going to be on your site, Natalie.
I have a link. I'll have a link in my Instagram bio. I'll put a link in the show notes. There's also a link in the last episode show notes. Yep. And then Jess will have a link. She'll post it on her stories. It'll also be on our podcast Instagram at No Such Thing as Normal in that stories as well. So you'll find it.
It's all over the place.
If you can't find it, just send us an email. We'll send it to you.
And we'll send you the link.
I'll send you the link.
On that note,
thanks for listening, and we'll see you hopefully on Wednesday.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Bye.